Kristen Redman, and today we're going to go over the planetary aspects that are surrounding us and affecting us for this upcoming week of April 9th through the 15th. And this week, I apologize that last week I was away with spring break and everything with the boys. That was a crazy week. So here we go into this week, though, and it's such an awesome week because it centers around new beginnings. A lot of new and fresh energy as we've gone into the astrological new year when the sun moved into Aries, and that was at the end of March. And now we're starting to feel it because this week Mercury, the planet of the mind, which has been in retrograde in the sign of Aries, finally goes direct. And as such, it kind of pulls us out of the shadows too. It's like that little shoot, that little flower, or like a daffodil, you know, how the thing plant, it shoots up out of the ground right under the snow and it emerges and it comes through, and that's kind of like Mercury retrograde in the springtime here. Same kind of idea. It's like all of these new ideas and thoughts we have emerged from below, and as Mercury goes direct, we can finally start acting on these things. When Mercury is in retrograde, we're looking back to the past. And because it was in the sign of Aries, it says, where do we need to initiate new beginnings where maybe we did not before? What is it that we need to do differently this time to make sure that we finally act on these things? We say what we need to say, and we communicate what it is that we want to others, because that's what Mercury is. It's the planet of thought. It's the planet of communication. And now it's going direct. Same day as this new moon, and it all centers around this Aries energy. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, is the Aries that is around us and the new beginnings it's pushing us towards. Now, we all know the past couple of years have really initiated a lot of new beginnings on us. Some of them have been thrown upon us. Some of them we knew were happening behind the scenes, but then it actually finally happened because we didn't want to accept, I suppose you could say, that things were changing. And no matter what, that's the funny thing with life, right? It happens regardless. But what it does is it pushes you to the level that your soul is at now. Not where you were 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 5 years ago or 1 year ago even. It's about where your soul is at in its purpose now, focused on what's best for you. And so is the sign of Aries. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. That's when the astrological new year starts. Now, because it's the first of the 12 signs in the zodiac, it is known as the initiator. It is known as the one that is ruled by Mars, and it starts things. But it is most focused on what is best for me, right? For you, for the person that we're talking about, for whoever it is. It's about having a healthy level of selfishness that's needed, because you have to take care of yourself first and what's best for you first, so that you can take care of those around you. You can see where that can get out of hand, though, right? Really quick, where you focus too much on what you need. That's the shadow side of Aries. We'll worry about the shadow side later. Let's think about the positive side of it right now. And that is it, too, right? Saying, what is it that I need? What is it that's best for me? Because that's what Aries in the first house in astrology is. It's about the self and what the self needs to fulfill its purpose. Because it's ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is that fiery planet out there in the sky that's known as the warrior. And where it comes into play in Aries is because it infuses Aries with that energy of itself. It infuses us with the inner warrior within. When the sun moves into Aries every year this time in the spring, it pushes us, that warrior within, to go beyond where we're limited and find new beginnings, find that new spring renewal and growth, and move forward with confidence too, because that's what Mars is. It's the warrior that is very strong and confident in its choices. It's confident because what it's done is it's gone from the sign of Pisces, the last sign in the zodiac, and it's moved into Aries now. But in Pisces is where its intuition is at the strongest. That's where we're spiritually evolve. Pisces is where we can trust what our intuition says. Now, because of that, we move into Aries, and Aries says, well, I already know what my intuition says. I am going to act. I'm going to do it. I've got the strength, I've got the confidence, and I've got the power to do it. I already know what my intuition says, and I'm going to trust my gut. How many of y'all get hung up in that spot, right? Nope, we're just going to do the thing back and forth of indecision, and is this right? Am I doing what's right? Well, this is what my gut says, but it's probably not right because of blah, 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 blah. No, it's time to act, right? And as the sun moves into Aries, we become very, very aware of where we do need to act, what changes need to be made. And this is one of those weeks where we can feel where the endings need to happen. We can see where the endings need to happen, because as the sun is in Aries, it's squaring off with Pluto out there in the sky. Now, this happens a couple of times in the year, all right? But this is one of the main ones, and the interesting timing of it is because it's in this week of new beginnings, because we have a new moon happening at the end of the week. Very centered around this energetic Aries energy. But it's squaring up against Pluto, way, way, way out there in the sky. And when that happens, Pluto is the planet that transforms things. Pluto, because it's a slow-moving planet, these are processes that are gradual and can take years and years and years for them to emerge. But as that sun of new beginnings squares off with that planet of transformation, major things can happen. But in order for transformations to occur, an ending has to happen for that new beginning to occur. Ending is Pluto, new beginning is the sun in Aries. So the two square off this week, and you may find that as a result, those endings may occur this week that are necessary. Those, or maybe just that realization that yes, this is exactly what needs to change. This is what's keeping my inner warrior from charging forward with confidence towards what's right for my soul and what I know is right for my soul. When this happens, this is on Thursday, okay, when these two guys square off in the sky. And it can be a tough thing, okay, because Pluto, when it comes to the endings, Pluto deals with a lot of things that have to do with power struggles. So it may be something where somebody's fighting you on what you know is best for the new beginning. Keep an eye out for that. But just follow what your instincts are telling you. Okay, because there's so much shifting and transforming this week. Ready to get you on the right foot for the rest of this year. This is a year where you can make anything happen. I know everybody says you can do that everywhere, but it's especially true this year because we are in an 11-year in numerology. And 11 is the master manifester. What it thinks in here, it creates in reality. That's what manifesting means. Whether it be good or bad, right? We manifest what we want. And that's exactly what the sign of Aries embodies too. Remember how I said that just before we go into Aries, we're in Pisces, and that's where all things that are hidden and third eye opens, we can see what's out there, and we can trust our intuition as to what we need to do when we need to act. That's what Aries is. That's what Mars is. That's when we act, right? But because of that, Mars in Aries says, I already know. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to trust my intuition. And because of that, the manifesting power is at its absolute strongest in the sign of Aries, right? Because it trusts, it has that childlike faith that whatever it's trying to make happen in this world is going to happen. And that's exactly when God repays us for that absolute faith in the darkness that all things will come to light. That's the theme of this week because we're in the new moon. When the sun and the moon align and the sky is completely dark at night, that's when we need to have our faith at its absolute strongest. Because in a new moon, that's when we manifest. That's when it's at its greatest, right? And that's where this Aries energy this week fills us with that strength and confidence, saying, you already know. Your gut already knows. Send it out into the universe that this is what you want, and you will not stand for anything else. Let that warrior come through and say, this is what I deserve. I want a new job. I want a better relationship. I want to be independent. Especially if it's something where you need to liberate yourself. We got twofold here, right? Because that's the most independent of all the signs is Aries. Okay, so if it's a matter of you having to stand on your own and be independent, this is the time to manifest these beginnings. But also because when this new moon actually happens, it's on Sunday, on the 15th, tax day, right? Got some financial new beginnings you want to start and independence there. What an amazing time to set those intentions. But as the sun and moon align, guess what else they're aligning with? They're aligning with Uranus for the last time in 82 years. Okay, it's happened every year since 2010. Every year saying, who am I? What am I? What do I want to change? What do I want to do different? Especially to our Aries friends, okay? It's been a very big battle for our Aries friends over the past several years, saying, who am I? What am I? Which is difficult for them because they've always known who they are. But now Uranus, I'm going to make my own little mashup word here. Uranus is in its last month of being in that sign of Aries. That's what's been instigating, saying, what do I need to do to be the real authentic me? The real authentic who I am. You don't have to be an Aries to have this. They've just felt it stronger than most of us. But all of us, right? Uranus is the planet that pushes us to those new beginnings. It says the real you on the inside needs to emerge. And what do I need to free you from to let that happen? Here we are. Uranus moves so dang slow. It takes 82 years for this home skillet to move all the way around back into a sign. And it's leaving Aries. And it's moving into Taurus. And that's what's bringing us stable ground for these changes that we've made. Those pushes of, this is what's better for me. This career option is better for me. Leaving this relationship is better for me. Starting this new leg of a career in this junction in my life is what's better for me. You fill in whatever that blank is, but it's Uranus that's behind you doing it. And what are the odds that here we go into this last new moon of Aries while Uranus is in that sign, pushing us, pulling us to our true destination and our true self, seeing the true authentic self. What are the odds that this new moon of new beginnings aligns with Uranus specifically at that time? Maybe it doesn't make sense to you, but in an astrologer mind, I tell you what, it's beautiful timing. This is God's timing right here. In astrology, here's another little lesson here. We've got 30 days in a month, right? Look at it just like that. The sun goes through each day. Beep, boop, bop, beep, boop. And we've got 29 degrees in a sign, right? Sun is at day 1, April 1st. Day 2, April 2nd, 2 degrees. See what I'm saying? It goes 3 degrees, April 3rd, 4 degrees, April 4th. Same kind of idea, right? But when the sun and the moon align perfectly, that's less than a day. That's like a little tiny time frame. What are the odds that that alignment of new beginnings where God puts our manifesting powers, the absolute strongest of the year, that he would align that beautiful timing with the last time that Uranus will be in the sign of Aries, pushing us, that inner warrior out, right there at that moment, that new beginning, and that planet that will free us. Take advantage of that. You know this will never happen again in your lifetime unless you plan on being like 140 when you die or something, but it's not going to happen again. Take advantage of it. You want to know what those, you're ready for those new beginnings. You know what they are. Now is that time where you would, even if you don't have that strength yet, right, but you know it's there, send that energy into the manifesting power at this new moon this weekend and say, God, help me to find that inner warrior moving forward. And that's where it starts. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to say the exact things. You don't have to make it happen immediately. But have that childlike faith that what it is you want, God is listening and will provide. Not only for all of the things I just said here, but because we are in an 11-year in numerology, you can make it happen this year. It's true, and it's there, and it can happen. But this week we feel it extremely strong. Okay? So not only is it about making way for these new beginnings and finding courage within ourselves, finding better understanding of who I am and what I am now in this point of my life, it's about the passion that we have for everything. Is it passion in your relationship? Is it passion for the career that you do every day? It's that inner fire that's within us is what Mars and Aries represents. That also comes to focus this week too. So maybe if there's some areas that need to be rekindled in your life in terms of that passion and drive and motivation and energy, this is the week where you can make it happen. New moons are always a fantastic time to start new diet regimens, health regimens. Are you trying to have the confidence and courage to be that inner warrior that says, this is where the ending stops and I'm ready to take better care of myself? This is a fantastic time to take advantage of that this week in there as well. So, everybody, that's basically what we got going on. Also, another thing, too, with Mercury going direct. When Mercury is in retrograde for 3 weeks, it does this 4 times out of the year. It's notoriously a time when things slow down. You send an email, it doesn't go through. Your responses are delayed. You don't get your test results back from the lab because somebody lost it, or there's always these things that happen, and it's always notorious for Mercury being in retrograde. As it goes direct, we don't have those delays anymore. But it's also another thing, too. When Mercury's in retrograde, it's a bad time to sign contracts, sign anything on the dotted line. Not usually a good time to do that. So, as it moves forward towards the end of the week, on the same day, what are the odds, right? Here we go, we got this new beginning moon that happens, and Uranus behind it, making sure it liberates us and frees us from any pre-existing chains so that we can do what we need to do. What are the odds that Mercury goes direct that day too, to help you move forward and actually put your feet going? That's awesome. So we've got that too this week. Kind of the lines of communication open back up again, things free up again, delays are over, and we can get rocking and rolling again. So, here we go with all that beautiful energy for springtime and renewal in so many ways that we have coming up. Let's do our reading for the week. Now, I always pull a stone, but I was very much drawn to the fact that because we are surrounded by so much Aries energy this week, I've pulled the stone for Aries energy, and it's Archangel Ariel. Ariel is the angel that helps us manifest anything that we want, especially if it's our basic needs, food, shelter, money, those things. She has the way to help us have that childlike faith so that we can manifest more of the abundance and less of the strife and struggle. Okay, because when you start looking at how bad your finances are and how everything's crappy, you get more crap. I'm just going to say it, right? But when you think good thoughts and abundant thoughts, that's exactly what you pull in by the power of manifesting, like a magnet, right? She helps you do that. She helps you do that. So she is around in the stone of the pink quartz. Now what pink quartz does, this is a big old honkin' raw chunk of pink quartz too. I love this one. But what it does, main purpose of the pink quartz is it clears the heart center of all the negative energy that we got going on up in there. Because that's where the power of manifesting lies, is in our heart center. That's where the energy of exchanging, of give and take, happens there. You got a block in there, you're not going to be receiving, right? You're not going to be giving because you don't have anything to give. There's all of these things that happen in that heart center. If you have some pink quartz, or even if you don't, go on a walk, you'll find it. It's one of the most abundant sources we have out there is quartz. Look at one that has a pink tone to it and put it towards your heart center and know and have that childlike faith that God's going to remove those blocks from that heart center for you so that you can have that confidence and strength and stronghold of passion and drive again to help you move forward into what you need to do. Archangel Ariel, let's see what your message is for this week of the new moon. That you're helping us all keep our thoughts uplifted in the right spot to manifest the abundance in all of its forms that we need. Let's see. Archangel Ariel. Just another little side note. Archangel Ariel in my deck of cards here is the angel that shows up in the 11th card of well, we just talked about what 11 is, right? You know what that is, the Master Manifestor. But in tarot, it's the card of strength. Having the strength we need to do it. And in this one, it's a beautiful card because it has a rainbow in the back. And when we think of that, we think of the abundance too. So, well, hopefully I pull that card. I don't know why I got yapping about that one, but it's true. We got to have that strength and belief and courage to see that rainbow and find that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow too. Oop, it jumped right out. Okay, well, this is the card. And I love it too because it's absolutely fitting here. This is the High Priestess card, and I think this goes hand in hand with it. The High Priestess card is a card that tells you to trust your intuition, trust your instincts. Let me read exactly what this is, and then I'll get yapping. Listen to your intuition. Have patience. Consider carefully what you want before acting. All of these wonderful things. Remember I said we get to the shadow side of Aries? This is probably a great time to do it here. Because it's ruled by Mars, because it is the warrior that acts and then thinks after the fact, can be terribly impulsive, little bugger. This is another thing with Mercury going direct too. Maybe you do have the confidence, huh? Maybe you do have the fire to say what you need to say, but maybe you don't have the ability to contain it. And impulse has gotten the better of your words and actions on multiple occasions. This is going to be a new moon that brings that to light and helps you recognize that, okay? If that's the case and it's something you want to change, being under the power of the new moon, this is a great time to change that moving forward. But in terms of this card, it pulls in that energy of you already know from Pisces what it is that needs to change. You have known in this incubation time of Mercury in retrograde what it is that needs to change, what plans need to be revised, that need to happen before it's time to act. Now that all of that energy is pushed to the surface, we can start acting, moving forward towards the end of the week and what it is we need to do. This is a card that kind of pulls all of that together. But the main thing of what this card is trusting our intuition. This is a really big card too. If you ever get this in a card reading, and if it's reversed, it's saying you're not following what your natural instincts are telling you to do. So follow that. Listen to that. We are in harmony with the pulse of the universe, with the pulse of the earth. It talks to us. Our energetic field listens. The angels around us are talking. Listen to it and know that you're being guided no matter what to make the right decisions moving forward. So let's all do that this week. Put your intentions out there and know that you are a child of God, right? And God listens to every one of his children, and he's listening to you with an open heart this week for whatever changes you need to make so you can be the confident little happy child running around here doing what it's supposed to do on planet Earth. So y'all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.